During this presentation, we'll be looking at CAMWORKS Premium and the added functionality provided by this package. CAMWORKS Premium includes all of the features included in all of the other CAMWORKS family of products, including SOLIDWORKS CAM Standard and Professional, CAMWORKS Standard, Milling Standard, and CAMWORKS Milling Professional, and CAMWORKS Turning Standard and Professional. And it adds 5-axis, multi-axis roughing and finishing, 5-axis Swarf milling, and a full suite of 4- and 5-axis simultaneous machining capabilities. Now, because CAMWORKS Premium includes all of the functionality of all of the other CAMWORKS family of products, you'll want to watch the videos for each of the other products you might be interested in, because during this presentation, we'll be focused in on just one part of the functionality CAMWORKS Premium adds, and that is the 5-axis Swarf milling. So let's get started. Here's a part inside SOLIDWORKS that is the front end of a truck, as you can see. And it might be thermoformed or vacuum formed. It's about 15 millimeters thick. And what I'd like to do is use the CAMWORKS Premium Swarf milling to go around and trim this part, this surface, these faces here, using the Swarf milling that's available in CAMWORKS Premium. And this would be typical of trying to trim a part like this. You would use the side of the M mill to do what we call Swarf milling. So let's go ahead and do that. First, what I'd like to do is show you that there is a surface here hidden. We'll show that surface. Very easy to create this surface. Just drive a line along the path that goes around the part. And this surface I'm going to use for a floor for the Swarf milling. I want to cut past the bottom of the face, and so I have created a floor for that purpose. Also, too, this floor represents the additional material that might be around the part. In fact, if I go to the SOLIDWORKS configurations, you can see I have another configuration for the stock. And if I activate that configuration, you can see where there's material added to this face and also additional material around the part, like we mentioned. And this is the area that we would want to trim off, and we'd also want to trim off the excess material along this face so that the part fits well. So we're going to use CAMWORKS Premium to do that. I'll go back to the default configuration here, go to the CAMWORKS feature tree, start by going to the stock manager and selecting the configuration within the current part, which is called stock, and it is this one. So you can see there in blue, now this is my stock that I'm going to be used, that is going to be used for this operation or this program. So I'll say OK here. And now let's go ahead and create a new mill part setup. And we can create one that is perpendicular. Let's suppose the spindle is going to come from this direction down onto the part. And we're going to say OK here. And then we can go ahead and create a multi-surface feature. And this multi-surface feature is going to be the faces that we want to machine. So I'm going to go around and select the faces that I want to machine. So these are the faces here that we're going to be trimming. And again, using Swarf milling, that means I'm going to be cutting with the side of the M mill against this face to trim this face and remove the additional material. So let's grab these faces here as well. Finish selecting the faces. There we go. And let's just make sure we have them all. It looks like we do all the way around. So this will be our multi-surface feature that we want to trim. So I'm going to say OK here. And again, you could pick particular faces if you only want to trim certain faces as well. Okay. So now that we have that multi-surface created, we can now create a multi-surface operation. I'll go to multi-axis mill here. And for the trimming, let's select, I think I have a 25 millimeter flat mill. So here's one that we could use, and we'll use that 25 millimeter tool as the one that we want to drive around and trim the part with. The method then will be swarf milling, and I'll select that here within the CAMWORKS Premium 5-axis or multi-axis operations dialog box. And then now I want to tell it that I do have a floor, and I'm going to select the floor now and create that feature. And I can select the floor surface right here off the SOLIDWORKS feature tree. And then once the floor has been selected, then we can go ahead and say OK and select that multi-surface feature as the floor for this operation. And we'll say OK here. And now I can specify here that I want to cut 5 millimeters past that floor, past the bottom of the floor. So this will make sure I've cut all the way past these faces, and they will clean up. And let me just look here. There's the guide curve is going to be the lower curve. Syncing method. Let's look at the shortest distance. Let's try using that one. I think that will keep the tool more upright as it moves around the part. And I think that's probably about all we need for the links. Look okay. And let's just go ahead and preview that. So this very quickly created the toolpath. If I hide this surface again, that can help us to be able to see the toolpath there that was created. And so let's go ahead and simulate now. You can see there's our stock with the additional stock on the face and below the part on the floor. And we'll go ahead and run the simulation. That was a little bit fast. Let me slow that down just a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and watch the path here. And notice how it's keeping the tool perpendicular to the surface nicely. And that's that shortest distance selection that I selected in the swarf milling dialog box. And there we go. And it even cuts past a little bit to remove any witness mark. And you can see where it really cleans up the surface nicely. Let's go ahead and compare the machined model to the design model. And we can see that surface all in green, which here you can see if there was any stock remaining, it would be in blue. If I had gouged the part anywhere, it would be in red. You can see that everything is in green, and it's done a very nice job of trimming that surface all the way around the part. So hopefully this will give you a good idea of how you can use swarf milling and the advantages it offers in CAMWORKS Premium. Thank you very much. For more information, go to www.camworks.com or contact your SOLIDWORKS or CAMWORKS reseller.